ends when a boy grows into a name feared by the very city that raised him. His name, MTV Scoom. But before the city knew his name, it knew his crimes.
Right now, a live look at Daily Plaza, flags at half-staff to honor fallen Chicago police officer Ariana Preston. She was murdered last weekend. A vigil is planned for 5:30 tonight to remember Officer Preston. It's being held at her former high school, UIC College Prep, on the near west side. Preston was set to graduate from Loyola University's law school this weekend with a master's degree.
Everyone knew who Bloodhound Q50 was, the masked menace of drill rap, a walking firestorm from the east side. But what most people didn't know was that his little brother had already been on the news before the music ever caught on. They called him Scoom. Some say they weren't real brothers. Others say they shared the same blood. Every story of street dreams, there's a moment it turns into a nightmare. November 2022, a stolen Kia, a concealed carry gone wrong, and a young life snuffed out before it even really started. Robert Lil Dub Davison, just 16, found dead in the passenger seat, shot during what police called an attempted armed carjacking. Jakari Spider Clark clung to life for 5 days in a coma. His mother raised money for his funeral through a GoFundMe. Dub City fell silent that day. Munchie and Scoom lost more than homies. They lost the last trace of childhood they had left.
You can see behind me, Chicago police are still on the scene right now after an attempted carjacking overnight. We know all of this started just after 2 a.m. Ultimately, 2 people were shot. Police say a 23-year-old woman was sitting in her parked car when 4 guys who were armed tried to open her car door. The woman, who has a concealed carry license, shot one of the suspects in the head. He's now in the hospital in critical condition. The woman then got out of her car and tried to run away from the other suspects, but one of them shot her in the arm. She's also in the hospital in fair condition. Police tell us the 3 other suspects ran away from the scene. They're still searching for them. But again, that victim, the 23-year-old woman, she's in the hospital in fair condition. No other arrests at this time.
Officer Ariana Preston was just getting off her shift, 1:42 a.m. She was heading home alone. The red Kia rolled up. 4 teens jumped out. They were masked, armed. Shots rang out. She returned fire twice, but it wasn't enough. One of the boys ran up and stole her weapon while she lay dying on the sidewalk. The car was torched. The trail nearly lost. But then a phone call would crack the case wide open.
4 people are now charged with first-degree murder in the shooting death of Chicago police officer Ariana Preston. Police say the group had been on a crime spree before killing the officer. Fox 32's Joni Lum joins us live from police headquarters with the latest. Joni?
Hello, Sylvia. Investigators had to work through their sorrow, and they say that community involvement helped them to make arrests and stop a crime spree that victimized women alone before it ended with the fatal shooting of Officer Preston. The offenders are teens: 19-year-old Travell Breland, 19-year-old Joseph Brooks, 18-year-old Jaquan Buchanan, and a 16-year-old male. Police say at least 2 of them shot at Officer Ariana Preston when she was returning home from work at 1:42 a.m. Saturday. Police say the 4 offenders were traveling in a stolen red Kia, and they were looking for people to victimize. They allegedly committed multiple crimes before ambushing Officer Preston.
As Officer Preston was returning home from her tour of duty early Saturday morning, 4 offenders pulled up in a stolen vehicle. The offenders quickly exited the vehicle and ran towards Officer Preston while armed. An offender fired at Officer Preston, who returned fire. The offenders continued to shoot Officer Preston, and offenders stole Officer Preston's weapon before all offenders fled the scene in a stolen vehicle.
Her last arrest that evening, even the arrestee, once finding out the news of what had happened, she wept. But that speaks to the credit of Officer Preston.
Commander Pendarvis says that the charges put police on a path to heal from the loss of this star officer if they can ever get over their grief. The officer's weapon was stolen. It has not been recovered. That stolen car was set on fire, and those 4 offenders are going to be in bond court at this hour.
Scoom didn't think twice before making the call. A trusted friend on the other end. 2025, Q50's face was everywhere. His music, his style, his name, legendary in a drill scene. And in the background, behind the bars, was the boy he once called his little brother, MTV Scoom. Face tattoos, a bullet inked on his cheek, songs filled with warning signs, and now a lifetime to replay the choices he made at 16. The city doesn't forget names like Scoom, but it doesn't forgive them either. Let this be a lesson. You can rap about pain all you want, but when you cause it, there's no beat strong enough to drown out the truth. This is Chicago, and in this city, actions echo louder than lyrics.
Well, this morning, family, friends, and colleagues will gather to say their final goodbyes to Chicago police officer Ariana Preston.
Her funeral starts in just a few hours at 10. CBS 2's Mugo Adigwe is live outside the Trinity United Church of Christ. Good morning, Mugo.
Good morning, Dana and Ryan. So this is where that funeral will happen later this morning, and we already see several blue ribbons wrapped around trees and poles out here. Sadly, we know Officer Preston died near her Avalon Park home near 81st and Blackstone. This happened on May 6th. This was the 24-year-old police officer who we were told had just finished her shift. Officer Preston used to work at the 5th District Police Station. We're told 4 people tried to rob her, and ultimately the young officer was shot multiple times and later died. Preston had been with the Chicago police force for 3 years and was working her way up. Just yesterday, mourners stopped by the Blake Lamb Funeral Home to pay tribute to her. Among them, a mother and son duo who say they knew her when she was younger and worked at her mother's daycare.
Ariana was the best.
I remember her smile well. When I look at this pin, I can see it visually.
She always helped her mom.
Now, even though Officer Preston was shot when she was off duty, she was still in uniform at the time of that shooting. So we're told this is being considered an in the line of duty death.